Hi everyone, Adam here, and this is my response to the favourite of the franchise tag created by Syfy Horror Guy. I'll leave a link to his channel. And I was tagged by Sean Urshan to do my favourite in the franchise. There's 25 franchises to choose from. So thanks for tagging me, Sean Urshan from the Horror Corner. I'll leave a link to his video. And here we go. At number 1, Friday the 13th. Actually, my favourite is the final chapter. I know some people think it's overrated. Maybe it's a nostalgic thing because it was the first Friday the 13th I actually saw. Yeah, so for Friday the 13th, yeah. Number 2, Halloween. Well, definitely a case of where you can't beat the original. The original is a masterpiece in horror filmmaking. And of course, the great character of Laurie Strode. So yeah, the original Halloween for me. Number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street. Once again, the original. At the time, it was kind of a different concept. It wasn't a guy in a mask, a guy that can kill you in your dreams. And I saw that when I was a kid, and I did find it scary, but now it's one of my favourite horror films. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is a tough one because the sequels have been a little up and down, but I guess we'll go for the original. It's kind of a gritty, kind of realistic feeling movie, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Child's Play. Well, for me, I actually think Child's Play 2 is better than the original. I think everything's improved on the original. The acting by Alex Vincent is a lot better, and in my opinion, just improves on what came before. Number 6, Phantasm. I've actually only seen one Phantasm movie, believe it or not, and that was part 2. Yeah, it was a very strange film, and maybe I should have seen the first one before I saw that, because, yeah. Moving on. Number 7, Scream. Well, I'm going to put the original there. It was something that rejuvenated the horror genre. And of course it had that twist ending, which if you've seen it, you know what the twist is now. So, but at the time it was very different. And the fact that the characters are aware of horror tropes in Scream makes it kind of pretty funny. Number 8, Hellraiser. Okay, I've only seen the first 4. I haven't got around to watching the other sequels. I do have a box set to watch the other sequels, the later sequels, which I am planning on doing. And from what I've heard, they range from average to absolute crap, but I will watch them. But I'll go with Hellraiser 2. I really like that one. Julia being a bit more evil, and Dr. Chenard when he becomes a Cenobite. That was pretty cool. Number 9, Saw. I'll go with the original. Just at the time, it was kind of a basic premise: 2 guys trapped in a room, chained to a wall. You know, they had to figure it out, and it was just kind of with the low budget they had. And it was very innovative at the time. And I kind of like how the story kind of expanded and went, well, full on crazy with so many twists and turns. But that's what I liked about Saw. It was just expanded the story so much. Number 10, Leprechaun. Well, I haven't really seen that many Leprechaun movies. So I'll just say the first one. Okay, we'll move on to number 11, Hannibal Lecter. Easily the Silence of the Lambs for me. The funny thing is, he doesn't have that much screen time in Silence of the Lambs, but because he's such a memorable character, it seems like he does. And of course, Anthony Hopkins was great in the role. Yeah. Number 12, Alien. Ooh, this is a tough one because it's out of the first 2, because I think the first one is a great movie, but I also think Aliens as well. But, oh gee, I'll say Aliens because there's a lot of memorable moments in both of them, but Aliens has a little bit more action, I guess, but I like the original because it's more suspense, but I'll go with Aliens just because it's a bit more action-packed. Number 13, Evil Dead. For me, Evil Dead 2, well, the first one is a horror classic, and the second one's... I didn't mind the humour in it, because it's such a ridiculous situation, and yeah, and I love the ending of Evil Dead 2 as well. Fun movie. Of course, Bruce Campbell gives it his all. So yeah, Evil Dead 2 at number 13. At number 14, Psycho, and let's face it, the one you pick here is the original. And there has been some decent sequels. Psycho 2 was pretty good. Yeah, okay. Psycho 2 wasn't too bad, but with that, nothing beats the original, especially with Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, who plays a man who's kind of charming, but then we find out he's also insane. Number 15, Wrong Turn. I'm going to have to go with the first one because I have not seen any of the Wrong Turn sequels, which I really should, actually. 16, Amityville. Well, that's a tough one. At the time, I liked the original, and when I watched it not that long ago, it hasn't aged well, but compared to some of the other sequels, yeah, the original. Because it did scare me when I was a kid, but now it's a little cheesy, but still kind of fun to watch. Number 17, Children of the Corn. Well, I'll just go with the original. I haven't seen any of those sequels either, and I barely remember the original. Number 18, Jaws. We'll go with, well, once again, the original. The only half-decent sequel in that is Jaws 2. But Jaws, great characters. The fact the shark didn't work half the time actually made the movie a bit more suspenseful, I think. Because if you look at the other sequels, they started to show the shark way too much. Final Destination at 19. That's a tough one, because I do enjoy most of them. Maybe not the fourth one as much. But because at the time, I'll go with the original. It was a unique concept that they kind of ran into the ground, but I still enjoy the Final Destination films. But the first one, plus of course, it has Tony Todd, who's awesome. George Romero's Dead movies. Okay, I haven't watched any since Land of the Dead, but I'm going with Dawn of the Dead. I'm going with Dawn of the Dead, the one set in the shopping mall with an exploding head, and exploding heads are always fun. Yeah. Number 21, Hostel. Well, I like the first one. I think Hostel 2 is a better made movie, and some of the torture scenes are even more extreme than the original. Yeah. Especially the hanging upside girl scene. Yeah, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. Number 22, Predator. Well, it'd go with the original. Definitely one of the most manliest movies ever made. Yeah, it's fun with a unique look for the Predator. Yeah, and it's just a fun action movie with elements of horror, of course. And at number 23, Tremors. Once again, the original. Only seen the first 4, I think it is. Yeah, the first 4. But from what I've seen, nothing has been as good as the original. Yeah. 25, Paranormal Activity. I know it's not a favourite amongst a lot of people. I don't actually mind the Paranormal Activities. Okay, some were with a franchise like this. Some were better than others, but I really like Part 3. Mainly because it's set in the 80s and it was a little different. At number 25, The Exorcist. Easily the first one's the best. Although Exorcist 3 is a pretty decent sequel. 2, not so much. And the beginning prequel, yeah. But nothing can top the original, in my opinion. There's excellent performances. And even now, the special effects still hold up, like the spinning head. And it's such a well-made movie with everybody in there giving a great performance, and it's well-directed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I can say about The Exorcist, but it's a horror classic. It's one of my favourites in the horror genre. Okay, that'll do it for this tag. I'll just leave it open because I think a lot of people have already been tagged. So if you want to do it, feel free. Thank you, Sean, for tagging me. And I'm Adam, and I'll see you again soon.